All right, music fans, it is I, Dave, the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, and just like me. This hilarious Def Leppard Journey video that was put together, kind of like a Mission Impossible thing, came out a couple of days ago. I was going to comment on it, but hadn't got around to until now, and it is hilarious. If you haven't seen it, it's very campy, it's very funny, and you know, it's not a long spot, but it's a great way to promote this upcoming Journey Def Leppard tour. Again, it shows Neal Schon and Def Leppard lead singer Joe Elliott trying to fit themselves into a door and getting stuck, and that's a reference obviously to who's going on stage first and so forth. And then they go to a whiteboard and they're plotting where they're going to be touring and so forth, and it's just funny. It's funny, number one, to see Neal having fun and having a sense of humor, and Joe Elliott's always been sort of the goofy guy, and it works. It also shows me too, as I've been saying, that Neal Schon right now is really the promotional force behind the concert. I know Kane retweeted this yesterday. He wrote something like, "Let's do this." Okay, let's do this, John. But recently in interviews, he's talked about how he's in Florida and he's busy, and in the midst of it, he's still posting about his book. It seems to be all about his book. Coincidentally, the tour starts when his book gets released. So again, the timing a little precarious. I'm wondering if I'm under contract to do X, you know, to be a musician and to play this music, and I'm on this tour, that contract would probably preclude me from promoting or doing anything like this until after the tour is over, because it does kind of show a conflict of interest. Neal Schon isn't dropping an album prior to the tour. I don't think he's got a book coming out. So again, this speaks to, I guess, who's driving the train and who's on the train just because, you know, it's millions of dollars for the tour. Because that's what these individuals will receive, whether it's, you know, Ross Valerie or Steve Smith. They're going to get millions of dollars for completing this tour. And that is incentive enough, I guess, to all get on stage and to, you know, put on a happy face. But it doesn't show fans really that there's any level of enthusiasm for the tour. Now, between Neal and Joe, I think there is enthusiasm, and they recognize that the fans deserve to be treated well. And I think they're doing that, and they're setting that up for people. So, what's your opinion? Mine is, I just think that there are lines that have been drawn, and when people take certain actions and they're all hyped up and retweeting about their book, my book's coming out, my book, don't miss my book, and then one tweet or maybe an occasional tweet about this massive summer tour, which, by the way, we're going to see Journey and Def Leppard. We're not going to see any individual members per se in this group. You may like Neal Schon on guitar, you may like Phil Collin, you may like Joe Elliott, but these are bands, and band concepts work best when every member in the band is firing on all cylinders. And it's going to be interesting to see whose car is driving smoother, the Def Leppard car or the Journey car. We will soon find out. All right, that's it for my video. Don't forget to help me over on Patreon. It's just $1 a month, people. It's just $1. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for the minimum. You can give more if you want to. If you decide that I'm worth more than that, I can understand completely why $1 is like your limit, okay? But it helps me out. It keeps me going. The channel did survive the February 20th deadline, even though there were some major technical glitches which happened at the same time, which apparently were not related to certain channels being defunded. But yours truly is still here. I'd like to stay here. This is my income, so I'd appreciate your help. For the Real Music Observer, I'm Dave, and I'll be back with more real music and real time for real people, just like you right there, and just like me, and we'll see you real soon.